Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
What we receive in the form of money is in direct relation to what we do for other people. All the money we will ever have comes to us from other people. We need to understand that nobody owes us a thing other than what we first do for them. Nobody owes us a living. Nobody is supposed to take care of us or give us a job. That's our responsibility. And in order to get a good job that will pay us a good salary, we need to qualify for it. That's our responsibility as individual persons. Understand, nobody owes us anything. In fact, it's just the other way around. We owe to the world the best that we can do and the best that we can be. And if we'll do that, the world will take very good care of us indeed. We can live on whatever level of that pyramid we choose to live on. We can live at the $25,000 level or the $35,000 level or the $50,000 level or that $70,000 level. We can even go much higher than that. That's left to us to decide upon and then to earn through being of service. Now, the pyramid doesn't care who you are, man or woman, what your beliefs happen to be, or if you're white, black, or somewhere in between. It plays no favorites, and it's a game everyone must play. Where you wind up living on the pyramid is always right where you belong. Where we live on the pyramid is always a measure of what we're doing for the rest of the people on the pyramid. It's determined by how well we meet their needs and their wants. Now, their needs are pretty much the same, but their wants are as different as their fingerprints. Some are quite happy living in a small house or apartment. Others aren't. They want more, and they can have whatever they're willing to qualify for and earn. Now, that's also true of you and me. So when you pick the level on the pyramid where you want to live, that's fine. But you're going to have to earn it. That's your responsibility. The level at which you live on that pyramid will depend on two very important factors. One, the goal you set for yourself, and two, the level of education you achieve. So you see, it's all up to you. Before you decide, let's listen to what Randall B. Hamrick, a psychologist, has to say. He wrote, "I'm a psychologist. In 20 years, I've talked with, tested, and given vocational counsel to at least 10,000 young men and women. One characteristic that almost all had was the tendency to sell themselves short. We need not worry about the braggart. His kind is not very common. But we do need to worry about the legions of young people who underestimate themselves. When at least 3 out of 4 sell themselves short, we're suffering a community tragedy that is compounded by the individual tragedy of each unfulfilled life." End of quote. So 3 out of 4 young people sell themselves short. They underestimate their true potential. They don't give themselves a real chance to become all they could be. And I don't want you to do the same thing. I want you to become all that you can become. I want you to move as high on our pyramid as your natural talents and abilities and goals will take you. But how do you find what it is within yourself that you will most enjoy and that will bring you over time the greatest rewards? It can best be done by making it a practice to reach higher, do a little better in everything you do. If you don't know what was meant for you to do, it means looking for it. It means examining and trying to get to know yourself. Ask yourself what it is that you enjoy doing most, what you have the greatest facility for. Take a good long look at your daydreams. What do you find yourself thinking of at idle moments? What one thing keeps intruding into your mind? How do you see yourself in your daydreams? What are you doing? Now, this will often give us a tip-off as to what was meant for us to do. As you take inventory of yourself, keep in mind what Dr. Hamrick, the psychologist, had to say. At least 3 out of 4 young people sell themselves short. They settle for less than they could know and be because they lack confidence in themselves. It's a natural tendency to think other people can accomplish all kinds of things, but that somehow we can't. That's nonsense. There isn't a single good reason to think in this negative way. You can do as well in your way as others have done in theirs. You need to remember that you are unique, unlike any other person who ever lived. You have special talents and abilities that you may still not know about. Talents and abilities that you need to uncover and put to work. There's somewhere in your makeup something for you to offer to the rest of us. A place for you that no other person can fill in exactly the same way. It's the song you were born with, and your job is to find it. It will bring rich new meaning and the corresponding rewards into your life, and it'll push you way up on that pyramid. Your job is to cover the distance between where you now are in the pyramid to where you've decided to reach. I'll tell you something else. Once you reach that higher place on the pyramid you've chosen as your goal, you'll be having so much fun you'll want to climb still higher. It's fun reaching our goals and setting new ones. And as we reach these goals, we'll find that we're much bigger, more competent persons capable of climbing much higher, if that's what we feel like doing. You will understand and find a great deal of happiness in the fact that your future is in your own hands. It's you who decide where you want to live on the pyramid. No one else has anything to say about that. The pyramid doesn't care who you are, what color we are, where we come from. All the pyramid knows is that we get what we earn. Yes, all the pyramid knows is that we get what we earn and deserve. And that's only fair. Nobody gets cheated. You want more? You do more. You think more. You serve more. And we have two main ways in which we serve. One, we serve physically, that is, work that we do with our hands, feet, and back, or bodies. Or two, we serve mentally by using our brains, talent, inherent ability, or a combination of all three. So we might say that we can earn our place on the pyramid by working with our bodies or with our brains, or both, and the choice is up to us. In many cases, like the surgeons and the dentists and the architects, it's a combination, working with the mind and hands together. It's the same with the fine cabinet maker, the plumber, the expert in any field. He gets paid for what he knows, what he has in his head, but he also does what he does with his hands. Makes for a nice balance. Perhaps you've seen carpenters doing beautiful work with wood. Well, that's talent, experience, and a love for what they do. Whenever we see a person doing exceptionally fine work, we're looking at someone who's in the right work. They love their work, and their work makes up an important part of their lives. Even after they retire someday, if they choose to, they'll go right on working at the work they love, even if they just do it for the fun of it or for their friends. It often happens that when a highly skilled person retires, he finds so many people calling upon him for what he does, he can work just as hard or as little as he chooses. Such people often earn more money in retirement than they did on their regular jobs. But of one thing you can be sure. When you find the work that's right for you, it'll be work you love to do. Instead of getting up in the morning and hating the idea of going to work, you look forward to it. It's a big and important part of your life. The work we spend our lives doing should be fun and match our talents and abilities like a fine-fitting pair of shoes or a comfortable old coat.